Solanke begged me that I should come with him to England because the hostel he's going to establish, he will need somebody to help him with the education I received in Sierra Leone, home economics I did in Sierra Leone. That's one of the reasons I accompanied him to England, and he only promised that it's only going to take 6 months before I return to Nigeria. We return to Nigeria. But 6 months took so many years. We arrived here in October 22nd, 1932, and they were seen at Kilburn, organized by Joseph Duarte and Adimola, for us to stay at Kilburn. You know, there. That's where we were staying before we got the hostel. The students were scattered all over, some in London, some in Newcastle, some in Edinburgh. So our total number of students we know of at that time were only 26 students. 26 of them, the whole of United Kingdom. The first hostel was in Camden Road. They found it difficult to get, buildings in a part of London. And this one was not a very good one. It was owned by a Jew. And it's been trying to get rid of it for the past 5 or 6 years before we came along. And he was the only one who's ready to sell that property, rent it, not to sell it to that property at Camden Road. So, although Camden Road is nearer to University of London, so it's very good for the transport, the nearness of the place to the University of London. It has 4 floors, basement included, and we're facing a factory where they're making bread. That makes life a bit difficult, and it's very near the road where public transport. So it's not an easy place to live. But we are forced to, accept it because there's no other place we can get in those days for the money we had. We had a basement for the restaurant. I taught an Irish girl to do Nigerian cooking. And we get some of the food from my mother in Nigeria, who used to dry these things and ship it to us by boat, which we collect at Tilbury, not far from London. That's where we used to collect it from the people who brought it for us. So we used the basement as a restaurant. That's why. She was able to send so many things dried to preserve it to us. Then we have few substitutes in London. Things like the fish, things like the spinach and cabbage. There are few things that we use, like ground rice that they use for pudding and other things like that, that help our gari, our native food.